In this video, I'm going to share 27 different hypnotic language pattern suggestions, from direct suggestions to various Ericksonian conversational and indirect suggestions. These are all examples of neurolinguistic behavioral activation. I'm going to keep the goal the same for each suggestion so that you know what each suggestion is aiming to achieve. And that way, you can focus on observing the different structures of the suggestions. Now, I'm only going to give one example of each. In a real situation, you'd do more than just give a single suggestion and expect a result. You'd likely use a range of different types of suggestions, depending on your skill level and knowledge. For example, even if all you knew was about direct hypnosis, you wouldn't just tell the subject to have their hand stuck to their leg. You may ask them if they're happy to experience having their hand stuck to their leg. Then you may tell them to get into position with perhaps their feet uncrossed on the floor, and their hands may be resting on their lap with one hand on each leg. Then you might tell them to look at one of their hands and then tell them that you want that hand to stick to their leg and that you want it to get heavier and heavier and more stuck. And you'll be giving a number of suggestions before perhaps asking them to try to move that hand or to maybe nod their head when they know that the hand is stuck and then try to move the hand. But often when I'm teaching, I find that what works well for teaching suggestions is to take one thing that we're aiming for and then have students develop a different form of suggestion, all towards achieving that one goal. So I may say, with the goal of being hypnotized, write one example of each type of suggestion that can encourage being hypnotized. Then do the same for developing amnesia or anesthesia or arm levitation, or, as in this case, having a hand stuck to the leg. So this is a video of 27 different types of hypnotic suggestion, with each one focused on sticking a subject's hand to their leg. Direct suggestion. Stick that hand to your leg. Indirect suggestion. You can discover how that hand sticks to your leg. Implied directive suggestion. As soon as you know that that hand has fully stuck to your leg, then you can try to move it. Yes set suggestion. You can hear me talking to you. You can see that hand on your leg. You can feel the sensations of that hand against your leg, and you can let that hand stick there. Reverse yes set suggestion. As you look at that hand, you wouldn't expect to not be able to see it. You wouldn't expect to stop feeling the sensations of that hand against your leg, and you wouldn't expect that hand to lift when it's stuck to your leg. Compound suggestion. You can listen to me and look at that hand, and see that hand stuck to your leg, and you can notice what that hand feels like stuck to your leg. Contingent suggestion. As you listen to me, so you can look at that hand, and while you look at that hand, so that hand can stick firmly to your leg. And as that hand sticks firmly to your leg, so you can notice what that feels like. Tag question suggestion. You can let that hand stick to your leg, can't you? Embedded suggestion. You know, you can stick that hand there so easily and effortlessly as you continue to listen to me. Bind suggestion. Do you want to stick the left hand or the right hand to your leg? Double bind suggestion. I wonder which hand you'll discover is stuck to your leg. Conscious, unconscious double bind suggestion. And you can consciously look at that hand while it unconsciously sticks where it is, or find that hand stuck in place all by itself while you observe it with conscious curiosity. Double dissociation double bind suggestion. You can be awake as a mind as that arm continues to sleep, or find that you're awake with no awareness of that arm. Time double-bind suggestion. I wonder whether that hand will remain stuck to your leg within the next minute, or whether it'll happen sooner. Reverse set double-bind suggestion. Don't put any effort into sticking that hand to your leg, and don't pay that stuck hand any attention as you listen to me. Non sequitur double-bind suggestion. Will that hand stick to your leg by the fingertips or palm of your hand, or will you find that the hand is so heavy it just can't move? Open-ended suggestion, covering all possibilities in a class of responses variation. I don't know how that hand will stick to your leg, whether the whole arm will go numb and unresponsive, or whether the fingertips will become stuck to your leg, or perhaps that hand will become so heavy it just doesn't move. Or maybe you find that you just consciously seem to forget how to move that arm, or find that the signals from your brain for that arm to move get stuck en route. Or perhaps it's the signals to move from the hand gets stuck, not letting your brain know how to move it. Or maybe it sticks to your leg in some other way. Questions suggestion. Do you want to know what it feels like for that hand to stick to your leg? Do you want to experience that happening? Do you know what it feels like to have a hand resting on your leg, not moving? Do you know what it's like to be so absorbed focusing on one thing that you're unaware of anything else? And do you know what it feels like to fall asleep as a body? And are you happy to look back in a minute on the experience you've just had and what it was like to experience that hand being stuck to your leg? Serial multiple task suggestion. I'd like to have you listen to me talking here and allow yourself to become absorbed in the sound of my voice, and you can develop a heaviness in one hand, and I'd like you to begin to imagine that hand sticking to your leg and allow that hand to stick to the leg. Not knowing, not doing suggestion. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to pay attention to that hand, or to the fingertips, or even to the arm. You don't have to know how that hand remains stuck in place, or what it is that you're doing to make it possible for you to enjoy the experience of having that hand remain stuck where it is. And you don't have to put any effort into trying to lift or move that hand or the arm, or even to the process of lifting or moving that hand. And you don't have to know how to develop this experience for yourself, or how this experience develops automatically and unconsciously for you. Confusion suggestion. I don't know whether that left hand right there will remain stuck in place, or whether it'll be the right hand left right over here that's the one left stuck to your leg. It's your right to decide which hand is left stuck and which hand you can easily lift right up. And the hand that can lift right up may be the left hand, just like the right hand to remain left stuck right there may be the one you least expect, with the one you expect to be stuck right there being the one that's left, which may not be the one that's right. Story suggestion. I remember the scene in the TV series Peep Show where a character is sat on a bus and another character accidentally sits on their hand, sticking it to the seat beneath them. And when someone's sat on your hand, it's easy for that hand to start to go numb and become unresponsive. And there was a man who was walking through a jungle when he found a large rock, and he wanted to get to the other side, and no matter how hard he tried, he just couldn't move that rock. He tried pushing it, pulling it, lifting it, and nothing worked. In the end, he exhausted himself in his options and had to find another way around this rock. It was immovable. A while later, he settled down by a calm lake. He gazed into the lake and had the most curious experience. While looking at his reflection in the lake, he found himself becoming that reflection, becoming absorbed in a whole new world, while his body remained motionless on the bank of the lake, gazing into the water. And in this strange and curious world, he discovered a palm tree rooted to its spot, just watching the world go by. Nothing that anyone thought or did had a hand in the palm tree's actions. It just remained rooted in that spot in the most pleasant way. Metaphorical suggestion. And you know what it's like for the hand on your leg to become all sticky, like it's covered in glue, and that the glue becomes more sticky with friction, and so the more you try to move that hand, the stronger and stickier the glue becomes, and the more that hand sticks to the leg. Imaginative metaphorical suggestion. And with your eyes closed, you can imagine that hand and your leg being wrapped up together. And I don't know whether it's being wrapped up with rope or perhaps a cloth wrap, tying the hand and the leg together comfortably tight so that no matter how hard you try to separate the two, they remain stuck together. A position of opposites suggestion. And the more that hand sticks to the leg, the lighter the other arm can become. Paradoxical suggestion. And when you know that hand is stuck to your leg, you can find it pushing down as you try in vain to lift it up, really trying to lift that arm as it pushes down. Focusing resistance suggestion. Try to resist the sensation of that hand becoming so deeply stuck to your leg, it just won't move. So if you have any questions about this or ideas for future videos you'd like me to make or topics you'd like me to cover, please let me know, and thank you for watching.